The Oklahoma Sooners squeak by the Nebraska Cornhuskers 50 years after the game of the century. And even though Oklahoma won this game, in a lot of ways, Nebraska beat themselves. And we have got to talk about this because there are some things OU needs to address if they ultimately want to get where they're going. Before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you surprised at how this game went down? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content, and if you enjoy it, be sure to like and comment down below because those interactions are massive. But with all that being said, let's get into it. And first and foremost, hats off to Nebraska. The Cornhuskers flat out came to play. And even through their first drive, where it was penalty after penalty, they found success going down the field on Oklahoma's defense. And at the end of the game, Adrian Martinez had himself a day, going 19 for 25 for 289 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, which that 1 interception may go down as one of the better plays all season by DJ Graham, going up with the one-handed acrobatic interception. It was awesome to see. But when we look at this game, Nebraska largely beat themselves. Whether it was that first drive that I just identified where it was penalty after penalty after penalty, and yet the Cornhuskers marched down the field, or looking at the end score where it was 16-23, and at the end of that game, Nebraska missed 2 field goals and had an extra point blocked and returned for 2 points. So if you add all that into it, and if you would have counted Nebraska getting those 2 field goals and not having that extra point blocked, it would have been 23-21 Nebraska wins. But at the end of the day, it's football, and you have got to make those things happen. And hats off to Oklahoma for an unbelievable special teams play, blocking that extra point and returning it. Because not only was that a big deal at the end of the game, that was a big deal in terms of momentum. So look, even though I say Nebraska beat themselves, let's be perfectly clear. It's a football game, and you have to go out and execute. Nebraska put themselves in prime position to take this game and failed to execute time and time again. The Cornhuskers, though, played a heck of a game, and it just really is awesome to see these two former rivals play once again, and for the end score to be this close, because it was a great game through and through. If you are Oklahoma, however, I think many Oklahoma fans expected to handle Nebraska much easier than they actually did. And there are some things I think if you're looking at Oklahoma right now that need to be addressed. While the front for your defense is playing solid, the front being that actual line, Nick Bonito had himself a day out there. And I think at the end of the day, if you're Oklahoma and you're looking for the difference in this game, it was the mistakes Nebraska made and the inability for them to capitalize on the opportunities they made for themselves, and then Nick Bonito going out there and having himself a day today. He was a real big deal for this Oklahoma defense, and the front line did its job for the most part. But outside of that, once again, Oklahoma is getting really hurt on some pre-snap motion things, opening up the middle of the field where the linebackers are, and Nebraska took advantage of that. Oklahoma has some things that they need to go back to the drawing board on defensively, and on the offensive side of the ball, I think that's where it's most surprising, because even though Oklahoma's defense, you can go back to the drawing board and there's some things you can improve on, they held Nebraska to 16 points. They did their end of the deal, right? At the end of the day, they gave the Oklahoma offense ample opportunity to put this game away, and Oklahoma's offense wasn't able to. So while I think you look at this game and you can improve from the defense, it's the offense to me that's most puzzling right now for the Oklahoma Sooners. Spencer Rattler finishes the day 24 of 34 for 214 yards, 1 touchdown, but he didn't particularly play very well, and he's lucky he didn't throw a few interceptions. You're lucky the true freshman Mario Williams had a heads-up play to make himself a defensive back to prevent an interception. And then another time, throwing into triple coverage, he's too far in his time with Lincoln Riley to continue making some of these mistakes, and it's just incredibly puzzling for a guy that has the upside of Spencer Rattler, yet some of the decision-making just doesn't add up. Oklahoma's offense has got a lot to look at and a lot to improve on, because even though it might seem like I'm being hard on the defense and saying that the defensive front did its job, but the linebackers are being picked on, At the end of the day, like I said, they held Nebraska to 16 points. No matter what Nebraska could have had, at the end of the day, the defense held them to 16 points. Sure, there's things to take away to play better defensively that I think you're going to need to do better defensively if you ultimately want to win a college football playoff game. And so when I look at it like that, where your defense was able to put them at 16 points and your offense wasn't able to do it, that's why I say on both sides of the ball, there's something to take away from this game for Oklahoma and something you have got to do better if you ultimately want to win a college football playoff game. Because yes, you beat Nebraska, but Nebraska put themselves in bad position after bad position after bad position. And at the end of the game, Nebraska really beat themselves, and you just capitalized on a lot of their mistakes. Nick Bonito had himself a day, but the Oklahoma Sooners have got to play better if they ultimately want to get where they want to go. This is a talented unit. Lincoln Riley's a great offensive mind, but right now it's just not clicking the way many people expected it to and the way it probably should. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking about this. That's it. See ya.